Here you will see some of our display cases we have at the museum. Over here is a display case dedicated to Revolutionary War soldiers and in general Revolutionary War society. We have the musket in there, and that musket is a real musket, not a reproduction. The bayonet laying over it is not a reproduction either. We have some nice little statues there augmenting the scene, and we have a military guide for young officers, so a field manual and another field manual over there. Playing cards are there because if you've ever been in the military, then you know playing cards are important. I sat in the barracks many a night when we were in the field or even at home, even when we were not in the field, and played hearts with my compadres when I was in the Army. We have some replica money over there, and a pipe. Pipes were very important because a lot of people smoked them, smoked tobacco, and so we have a pipe in there with a pack of tobacco, some coins, some shillings, a bullet mold, a compass, which has always been important when you're in the military, and a graphic showing the manual of arms for battle in Revolutionary War time. It's the manual of arms for when they would stand in the rows and shoot at each other. And then down here we have some things that are more cultural. We have some spoons that they used, a wooden bowl, a tin cup, a hatchet, a tri-cornered hat, some mugs, canteens, that sort of thing. Just regular day-to-day stuff that were used. Candles. I think that is that white thing. That white thing's a bar of soap, I think. And over here, before the Liberty Bell was here at the Liberty Bell Museum, this church was a hospital for Revolutionary War soldiers. And down here you can see many of the surgical tools and implements. Some of them look like torture devices. I mean, that's a bone saw. Make no mistake what that was used for. Little glass jars for salves and things. And we have lancets over there for doing bleedings. Yes, they did bleedings at that time. And just some basic surgical implements. And the statue in there is of wounded soldiers returning from battle. You can see they have wraps on their heads and they're sort of downtrodden. And so we put that in the hospital case. And then up top, we are a Revolutionary War museum, so this is our obligatory George Washington case. We have a replica of George Washington's battle sword, a fife in there, a pen, just some of the things he would have used. We have a wooden pen and a feather quill. And one thing that's not necessarily for George Washington, but we put it in this case, is that China teapot. Now that China pot, or coffee pot, that coffee pot is done in the Delft style of China, and you can tell because it's got that blue and white. Delft refers to a city in Europe that kind of china was made. They still make that kind of china today, but that pot is supposedly belonged to the Mickley family. Now the Mickley family is known in the museum as one of the families, or the family, that drove the wagon that brought the bell from Philadelphia to here. And so we put that coffee pot in there with George Washington's things. Some interesting things in here. I mean, we have a wooden vessel with powder in it. That was used for when they signed their names, that they put the powder on it to dry the ink so that they could fold it up, fold the letter up and send it right away. so that they didn't have to wait for the ink to dry. And we have a picture of George Washington in there. And the statue in here is entitled The General. And as you can see, the general is handing off a letter to a courier to send to a unit or perhaps Congress, that sort of thing. And over here we have a map. Now this map shows, if we would light it up and let the narration go, this map would show where the troops were at what different time, but I bring you over here to show you there's Philadelphia, and all the way up here is Northampton Town, what used to be Allentown. Allentown was called Northampton Town in those days. And so you can see the path the bell took from Philadelphia all the way up to where we are now in Allentown, in Northampton Town. Well, that's all we have on the cases for now, and we'll move on.